What is up, guys? EJ here, aka Puckbond007, and welcome to the Movie Reviewers 100, this great collaboration channel on YouTube and Facebook that I'm proud to be a part of. So it's been a while since I've said those opening words, because I haven't made a video on this channel in a while, and I do apologize for that. I've been very busy this summer, changing jobs, looking for a job, so been busy with a new job, and of course doing my own series on my own channel of showing you my entire movie collection. That's taken a lot of time and video time, but yeah, I want to thank Scott, CineRam, for keeping the channel going. He's been posting reviews of new movies pretty much every week, and last week we got a request to do a Ridley Scott week, and I'm happy to jump back in and do that, because I'm a big fan of Ridley Scott. Of course, brother of Tony Scott, great British director, almost, I think he's almost 80 now. I think he's like 79, Ridley Scott, but he's a terrific director. I'm a big fan of his work. He makes, yeah, epic films, but more than that, he makes intimate stories, personal stories within epic settings. That'll be a big theme of this video, I think. Yeah, he's known for his atmospheric visual style, especially when it comes to urban settings, whether it be the cityscapes of Blade Runner or the streets of Mogadishu in Black Hawk Down, which I'll talk about in this video later. So yeah, as always, when it comes to people I like to make a top 10 list. So I'm going to bring you my top 10 favorite Ridley Scott films for Ridley Scott week. So starting off, counting down as always, at number 10, we have Body of Lies from 2008, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe, who of course has worked with Ridley Scott a number of occasions. Yeah, really good film about a CIA agent working in Jordan to bring down a dangerous terrorist. Yeah, really good, interesting film, espionage thriller, sort of a part political thriller as well. Great performances by Leo and Russell Crowe. Mark Strong in the film as well, who also starred in Robin Hood alongside Russell Crowe as well, directed by Ridley Scott from 2010. That film won't be on this list. I think there's better versions of Robin Hood, but I still enjoyed that film. And like I've said in my other videos, I'm a huge fan of the Robin Hood story as a whole. So yeah, I'm a fan of well, Ridley Scott's Robin Hood, but not enough to put it on this list. But anyway, Body of Lies, number 10. Alright, moving on to number 9, we have Messick Man from 2003. Terrific film with great performances. One of Nicolas Cage's best. In the mid-2000s, he made a number of films with sort of interesting storylines. This, along with The Weatherman and Lord of War, were really the highlights for me. Great movie alongside Sam Rockwell and Alison Lohman. Yeah, about a couple of con men who are about to embark on a big score, and then it gets sort of turned upside down when Nicolas Cage's daughter, which he didn't really know about, Alison Lohman, turns up. Big fan of her as an actress. I'm kind of disappointed she hasn't done more over the past few years, because she's a talent. But yeah, Nicolas Cage and Sam Rockwell, just fantastic actors and two great performances. Really good film about con men. I love movies about con artists and schemes and heists, that kind of stuff. So yeah, Messick Man from 2003, number 9 on my list. Alright, up next at number 8, we have American Gangster from 2007. Again, Russell Crowe, great in this movie. He stars as a New York detective trying to bring down a drug kingpin played by Denzel Washington in 1970s Manhattan. Yeah, really good film, really good performances by Washington and Russell Crowe. Yeah, Russell Crowe has said he enjoys working with Ridley Scott because he allows his actors to perform. He's a might some people might say he's a actor's director. Over the years, he's grown better with his actors. People have said, and Russell Crowe is definitely one who enjoys working with him. Yeah, Ruby Dee, fantastic, as well as Denzel's mother in this movie. American Gangster is my number 8. All right, moving on to number 7. We have Thelma and Louise from 1991. Fantastic movie from the early 90s, of course, starring Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis. Yeah, about a Arkansas waitress who teams up with a housewife. They elude a rapist and then go on a joyride in a '66 Thunderbird. Yeah, fantastic movie. Great cast: Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen, and of course a young Brad Pitt. Iconic ending, of course. And I'm a huge fan of Susan Sarandon. She's one of my favorite actresses. Gina Davis, wonderful as well. Great movie from the early 90s, Thelma and Louise, and it's my number 7. Alright, up next at number 6, a recent film, of course, one of my favorite movies of last year, my second favorite, in fact, and that's The Martian. Great movie, funny, good humor, and just a fantastic vision of Mars. Like I said when I picked this up and talked about it earlier this week in my September haul video, I don't think Mars has looked better on film than it did in The Martian. Of course, Matt Damon, great as a astronaut who gets left behind on Mars after he's presumed dead following a storm. Yeah, Jessica Chastain is the leader of the crew, Michael Pena, and then the supporting cast at NASA just really added to the sort of fun nature of this film. Really great stuff. Jeff Daniels, Sean Bean, Kristen Wiig, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Just a great film from start to finish. I loved it. My second favorite film of last year. And like I said, a big theme of Ridley Scott's work is intimate stories amid epic surroundings, and there's nothing more personifies that than a solitary man trying to survive on the vastness of planet Mars, of course. The Martian, my number 6. Alright, moving on to number 5. A great film from 2005, highly underrated in my opinion. That is Kingdom of Heaven. Fantastic movie. Orlando Bloom, I think, is brilliant in this movie. I think it's his best performance still. Yeah, set during the 12th century, the Crusades, about a man who goes to Jerusalem and then ends up defending the city. Great cast: Liam Neeson, Ava Green, David Toulis. Fantastic action scenes. Yeah, just a brilliant film. The director's cut is magnificent. Takes the film even further. Kingdom of Heaven, just a fantastic movie. Again, a intimate story amid epic setting. The Crusades and the sack of Jerusalem, that kind of stuff. Kingdom of Heaven is a fantastic movie from 2005, and number 5 on my list. Alright, number 4, film that has to be on this list. One of the great films of the late 70s, and I have the box set, so I'm going to show the box set because it's sort of a fold out and it'll just be a disc. Of course, Alien, the first Alien film from 1979. The quintessential horror sci-fi film. Just fantastic movie. Great cast. Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, of course. Harry Dean Stanton, Ian Holm, Yaphet Kotto. Great visuals. The alien, just iconic figure in movie history. So many great moments. Again, very atmospheric. Just a brilliant film. Really heralded Ridley Scott as a force in the director's field in the late 70s. Alien, number 4 on my list, and still my favorite Alien movie. I know a lot of people love Aliens, the second one, but the first Alien is my favorite of the franchise. All right, up next at number 3, we have Black Hawk Down from 2001. Fantastic film, of course, about a bunch of U.S. Marines who go to Mogadishu, Somalia, amid a sort of civil war. Uh, Place has been overrun by a warlord, and these guys get dropped into the city of Mogadishu and have to fight for their lives. Fantastic battle action movie, war movie, great cast. Josh Hartnett, Ewan McGregor, Eric Bana, Tom Sizemore, William Fichtner. Fantastic movie, great action scenes. It's just a brilliant film. I remember when I first saw this in 2001 when it came out, or 2002, like at Christmas time, the New Year. It was the night of the playoff game between the Oakland Raiders and the New England Patriots, the Tuck Rule. That was during that game. I was watching this movie when that game was going on, and I remember getting out of this film, loving the movie, and then hearing that the Raiders lost on some weird technicality, of course. That's what I remember a lot about Black Hawk Down. Still a great movie, fantastic film. Just kinetic, fast paced, and it never lets up. Just a great movie with a great cast and fantastic action scenes. Goes without saying. Black Hawk Down, number 3 on my list. All right, number 2. It's tough picking between 1 and 2 here for me, but number 2 is Blade Runner from 1982. One of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. In my opinion, the best sci-fi film of the 80s. Fantastic movie. Of course, Harrison Ford as a Blade Runner trying to track down replicants after they steal a ship. Great cast: Rutger Hauer, Sean Young, Daryl Hannah. Yeah, visually stunning. Like I said, the cityscapes of Blade Runner, the music in this movie. Of course, it's gone through various cuts. Ridley Scott's known for his director's cuts, and this film alone, I mean, this edition, I mean, has like 3 or 4 versions. The final cut, yeah, Blade Runner, just one of the best films of the 80s, and one of Ridley Scott's best. Okay, last but not least, at number 1 has to be on this list, and that is Gladiator from 2000, his Oscar-winning film, of course, from that year. He should have won Best Director, in my opinion, but he didn't. Lost out to Steven Soderbergh for Traffic, which is a good film. But yeah, of course, Russell Crowe won Best Actor. Of course, a general, then a slave, and then a gladiator. Fantastic movie. Great performance by Russell Crowe alongside Joaquin Phoenix and Connie Nielsen, great actress. Yeah, loved this movie. I loved it when it first came out. It was my favorite film of that year. One of my favorite films of the past decade. Gladiator, so many great moments. The music is wonderful. The We Are Free theme by Hans Zimmer is just a wonderful piece of music as well. Gladiator, fantastic movie. I know it has its detractors, Gladiator, especially Roger Ebert. He sort of campaigned against this movie, which really put me off Ebert at that time. But for me, Gladiator is a great film and Ridley Scott's best movie. And that's why it's number 1 on my list. So there you have it, my top 10 Ridley Scott films. Big fan of his work, great director, and we're happy to do requests like this on the Movie Reviewers 100. So I'm looking forward to what Scott is going to talk about. He said he's going to review one of these movies that I probably talked about. And I hear James, DVD collector, 1974, is going to do a review on Alien. So I'll look forward to checking those guys out as well. Make sure you check them out as well. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see ya.
Bond. James Bond.